In this short video, I'm going to show you how to add an event to the calendar. The calendar on Eldertree can be used for public events. Those are events that are going on in your community that anyone can see, or you can use the calendar to keep your private appointments or events. In this example, we'll add a personal appointment or a private appointment. When you come to the main calendar page, we'll display the events going on that day in your community. For this example, I have Richland County pulled up, so you can see that there's the events listed for Thursday, December 26th, and this is the events going on in that community. You can also see over here on the right side this calendar, and it has the 26th highlighted. That indicates that's the day we're looking at. If you want to add an event, what you do is come to the top of the page and you can see here this green button that says Add New Event. You can either click or touch on that button. That will take you into the Add a New Calendar Event page. And this is where we'll enter the information about the event, about the appointment, and then save it to the calendar. This page is set up so there's 3 different sections that we need to fill out. In the first section, we'll say whether it's a personal or a public event, give it a title and a description. The second section is the event date and time, and then the third section is the address information. So we have these 3 areas that we need to fill out, and that's how we'll approach this. So in the first section, we're going to define what this is and say whether it's personal or public. For personal appointments or private events, you are the only one who will see that on the Eldertree calendar. If you click on the words here, it'll also show you the option to choose public. If you choose public, everyone on Eldertree will be able to see it. So if there's an event going on in your area or in your community and you want everybody on Eldertree to know about it, you would select public. If you're going to enter in a doctor's appointment or any kind of a private appointment or event, you'd want to choose personal appointment. You don't want anyone else to see that. In this example, I'm going to choose private or personal appointment. The next section 4 is you would select me. You're setting an appointment for yourself. And then we need to give it a title. In this example, I'll go with a doctor's appointment. And then in the description field, this is where you could add information about what the event or appointment or personal event is. So if this was a public event, you'd want to give a little detail about what it is. For this example, it's a doctor's appointment. I'll maybe just add a little bit of description as a reminder just for me. So I'll say yearly physical. And so that's it for that first section. We've got that all filled out. So let's scroll down to the second section, the date and time information. The first thing you want to answer is this an all-day event? Well, for this doctor's appointment, it's not, so I can just leave it at no. If this was something that was going on all day, you could select yes, and then the options to set start time and end time go away. Let's go back. We'll just say no. And then the next part is to select the date. The calendar will always show you today's date as the starting point. So if you need to set an appointment for sometime in the future, what you would do is click or touch right on the date. And then I'm going to scroll up a little bit. It'll pop up a calendar. And it will always default to showing the current month. So let's say I had an appointment scheduled for next month. What I would do is go up to these arrows and click. And I could go to the next month or go further, depending on where I needed to go. But I'm going to go back. And let's say it was January 2nd. I'm just going to go ahead and click on that or touch it once, and you can see down here we're in the event date and time information section. Now that's changed to January 2nd. So now what I want to do is set the time. Well, my appointment's actually at 10 a.m. So what I can do to adjust that, if you look over to the right side, you'll see these 2 groups of buttons, one for hour and one for minutes. This is how I can adjust the hour and the minutes and get the time right where I want it. So let's say my appointment's set for 10:30. So what I want to do is hit the minus button in the hour section and keep hitting that until it gets to 10. Now I need to adjust the minutes so I can have it at 10:30. Then I'll use the plus button to increase the minutes to where it'll get to 10:30. Now with minutes, we break those down into blocks of 15 minutes. So in this example, I would just need to hit it twice. And now you can see it's at 10:30. But I'm not quite done. What I need to also do is update the end time. See, it's still here at 2 p.m. So what I'm going to do is This appointment's an hour, so I'll take the hours down to 11, and then I'll adjust the minutes again in those 15-minute blocks to 11:30. So my start time 10:30, my end time 11:30. It's happening on the same day. And then the last piece of this middle section is whether or not this appointment's going to repeat. For this doctor's appointment, it's just a one-time appointment, so I'll keep repeat at none. But let's say I had a weekly bridge game that I wanted to set in the calendar. I could then adjust that by indicating how often it's going to repeat. So I don't have to enter it in over and over and over again. And then the last section is to put in the address information. So at the very least, you need to enter in the name of the location. So in this instance, I'm just going to put in UW Health Clinics. And the address, the street address, I kind of know where it is in town. I don't really remember the street address, but I've been there many times. So the city, I'll just put in Madison. And the zip code I'm going to put in is 53706. You don't have to put in any of this if you don't need to, but you can also add as much detail as you want. Contact information, I guess I could put in my doctor's phone number, but I don't really need to. I have that on my insurance card. But where I could see this being valuable is if you're putting in a public event and you wanted to put in a name or number. Let's say people needed to call to register or something like that, or just a number to call if they had more questions. That's where you could enter this contact information. But again, in this example, I don't need to do that. So I've got all three chunks or sections of the calendar entry page filled out. So I can go ahead and click on Save Event. And this event now has been saved to my calendar. And you can see here it gives you the description of what it is. It's my yearly physical, the date and time and where it's taking place. Now if we go back to the calendar, I won't see it right away because I'm just looking at the events for today. But if I come down here and I can scroll over to January and click on the 2nd, you can see now there's my appointment showing up. And so there's one more thing that I want to show you with the calendar, and that's that the calendar will actually remind you of any personal or private events you have going on that day. And so for this example, let's go ahead and add a new event. I'm going to make it personal and private, and I'll just add a title in, and I'll say Pick Up Kids. And I'm just going to quickly enter this in. I'm not going to put in a description. We'll keep it for today. I'll change the time to maybe 3. And then place name, I'll put school, and I'm just filling this out really quickly so we get the event added. Then I'm going to click Save Event. So now I have Pick Up Kids, and that's been added to my calendar for today. Well, if I now go back to the home page, you can see under this top section where we have Welcome, you have the reminder about the public event going on in your area today. But then you can see also we have this reminder that I have this appointment today. So if I click on this, it'll show me what that event is. And so that's how do you add an event, either personal or private, to the calendar. Again, I just want to stress that if you add an event that's private, you're the only one who will be able to see it. If you add an event that is public, everyone who is a part of ElderTree will be able to see it. So you just want to be careful about what you select depending on what kind of an appointment or event it is. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to add your question to the ElderTree Help section in the discussion group, or you can always call our tech helpline at 1-800-480-9223. Thank you.